An integral part of the story, preserving what we fought for, never forgetting what brought us to where we are. A reminder of past political lives, a mirror to future choices, a collection of anecdotes, pictures, sound, pieced together. An archive can never be final, each time left unfinished. It is heavily layered, liberal, potent. It grows with the passing of time, gathering more stories, and so they live.
What's your favorite CCP memory? Witnessing a glorious ballet? Watching a classical music performance? Checking out a new exhibit? Or seeing your first Cinema Lion film or Virgin Labfest play? Take a trip down the memory lane with the CCP Digital Time Capsule, an interactive web-based timeline that tells the history of the cultural center of the Philippines, from its inception in 1965 up to the present. It has two sections that you can browse: the CCP timeline and a special section called Art in the Time of COVID-19. In the CCP timeline, witness the early beginnings of the CCP as the Philippines National Performing Arts Center, the founding of its resident companies, iconic performances and events, and the creation and evolution of its flagship programs and festivals. The timeline contains never-before-seen photos and videos from the rich collection of the CCP. Meanwhile, Art in the Time of COVID-19 shows you how the CCP adapts to the new normal by going virtual with its flagship festivals and introducing new online programs to keep supporting our artists and workers and engaging the public. Here, CCP also recognizes the responses and new ways of other artistic institutions, organizations, groups, and individual artists who have been affected by the pandemic. The CCP Digital Time Capsule is continuously updated to reflect new breakthroughs and historic moments through its over 50 years of bringing artistic excellence to the people. So what's your favorite CCP memory? Tag us and tell us in the comments.
Welcome to the CCP Encyclopedia of Philippine Art Digital Edition. The ePad is a comprehensive database containing articles on anything and everything that is Philippine art. These articles can be found in the 9 sections of the encyclopedia. Each section contains different article categories. Articles are complemented with related images and videos to help enrich your learning experience. Each article is hyperlinked for more thorough research and access to varied information. You can also bookmark and copy-paste articles from ePad. Copy-pasted articles automatically include proper citation of authors and sources. Subscribers may also share the articles via email or through their social media accounts. The website is easily accessible in whatever device you are using. The search engine of this online encyclopedia is your most helpful first stop. All the major terms, names, forms, concepts, and works found in the various sections of the encyclopedia are listed here. We encourage you to check out the website regularly for updates and added features. Enjoy your EPAD adventure now!
Now 50 years since it was first presented, the 13 Artists Awards started as a curatorial project of the Cultural Center of the Philippines Museum under the directorship of its first curator, Roberto Chabet. The 13 Artist Awards was created in order to showcase the works of artists who grasp to, restructure, re-strengthen, and renew art making and art thinking that lend viability to Philippine art. It was Raimundo Albano, the next director of the CCP Museum and Non-Theater Operations, who transformed the 13 artists into the awards program that it is today. The 13 Artists exhibition was mounted every 2 years, from 1970 to 1980, and again in 1988, 1990, 1992, and 1994. It was revived in 2000 and changed to a triennial format, which it follows until today.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the exhibition catalog online launch of Allegories and Realities, Ophelia Helvezon Teki in Retrospect, in celebration of the Cultural Center of the Philippines' 52nd anniversary. To start the program and give the welcome remarks, please welcome the CCP Vice President and Artistic Director, Mr. Chris B. Miliado.
Greetings from the Cultural Center of the Philippines. The CCP is proud to present the publication for the exhibition Allegories and Realities, Ophelia Helvezon Teki in Retrospect. We opened the exhibit in February 2020 in time for National Arts Month, just a few weeks before we would have to close the CCP building due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The exhibition, while celebrated by many, was not able to be viewed in its original 2-month run. But with great adversity comes opportunity. While the CCP remained closed for the rest of 2020, we were able to share the works of artist Ofelia Helvizon Teki through other media. In August, an online lecture was held with exhibit curator Maria Victoria Herrera and the artist, who was already back in France by that time. In December, a virtual iteration of Allegories and Realities was presented, allowing viewers from all over the world to see the exhibition without having to go to Manila. And finally, we have this publication, which is an incredible compilation of not only the artworks exhibited at the CCP, but also supplementary essays about the artist and her more than 5-decade-long practice. We thank all those who supported the exhibition, especially the institutional leaders and the private collectors who lent their artworks and allowed the extension of their stay in the CCP in order to ensure the safety of the exhibition team. We also thank Wig Theismans for the amazing photography that he took in the middle of a citywide quarantine. We also express our gratitude for the writers, old and new, who agreed to have their essays published here. Ofelia Helvizon Teki first exhibited her works at the CCP in a 1970 survey exhibition on Philippine printmaking. She would be the first female artist to be included in the 13 artists just 2 years later. This retrospective marks the CCP's sustained initiative to look into the women artists that shaped not only the CCP's exhibition program, but Philippine art history. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Meliado. Now I would like to introduce the artist. Ofelia Helvizon Teki is an internationally acclaimed painter and printmaker. She earned 2 degrees from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Bachelor of Arts in English in 1966, and Bachelor of Fine Arts in 1964, where she also worked as an instructor in humanities, art history, and printmaking. Aside from this, she earned a diploma in painting from Accademia di Belle Arti di Roma, Italy, in 1968. She also earned special studies in graphic arts from Pratt University in New York in 1968. Internationally, she received the 4e mention at the 18th Salon Île-de-France at Boularen in 1985, the Michiko Takamatsu Prize in 2002, and the Lucia and Suzanne Jonas Prize at the Salon des Artistes Français in Paris in 2003. She also won first prize in the Printmakers Association of the Philippines contest in 1969. In 2014, the Pamana ng Pilipino Award, or the Philippine Presidential Award to Outstanding Overseas Filipinos, was conferred to her by President Benigno Aquino III at the Malacañang Palace. Amongst that, Helvizon Teki is the first female recipient of the CCP 13 Artists Awards in 1972. Please welcome Ofelia Ofi Helvizon Teki.
Good morning from France, good afternoon Philippines, and greetings everyone. Some years back, my aging neurons now have forgotten exactly when, Boots Herrera and Rica Estrada proposed that I hold a retrospective exhibit of my works at the CCP main gallery. Oh, of course. I was elated to receive this honor. Flattered, too, that my works have been seen to be worthy enough to be shown at this prestigious venue. And at the same time, I felt humbled too by such a tribute to my half a century of creations, and that now I have joined the ranks of the august G generation. G as in Gurang. Anyway, I take this opportunity to thank Rica and her staff for digging up my works at the CCP collection and other works that have been borrowed from the National Museum, the Metropolitan Museum, as well as those that are found in the private collections. I thank to Alpha Marfa, who was taken in as our gopher, for whom I have developed an older sisterly affection. I am grateful really to the staff of RICA for physically putting up this exhibit. And of course, my thanks go to Boots, who had the thankless task of straightening up all the meanders of my artistic peregrinations through the collages, the silk paintings, the acrylic works, both on paper and on linen. But most of all, I thank Boots for showcasing my prints, the techniques of intaglio that were worked and used, the didactic explanations of what editions were in printmaking, which shows that printmaking are original artworks in multiples. And in the process, of course, she acknowledges printmaking as a major art form, not just as a minor handmaiden of painting. I guess I have said it all in words, though I would like to have expressed myself better visually, in image. Once again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Mil merci and maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ophie. The exhibition Allegories and Realities Ofelia Helvezon Teki in Retrospect opened last February 2020 in celebration of National Arts Month. Just a few weeks after its opening, the exhibition was closed to the public because of the closure of the CCP building due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While other media were utilized by CCP to bring the exhibition once again to the audience last year, this publication brings another educational experience to our students, teachers, artists, art enthusiasts, among others. On behalf of Cultural Center of the Philippines and artist Ofelia Helvezon Teki, we present to you the publication Allegories and Realities Ofelia Helvezon Teki in Retrospect. What a great publication. I know everyone's excited about this one. Before we proceed on how to purchase it, let's hear it from our exhibit curator and publication editor and writer. Maria Victoria Boots Herrera is currently the director and chief curator of the Ateneo Art Gallery since May 2015. Before joining the Ateneo de Manila University, she was a faculty member of the Department of Art Studies in UP Diliman for more than 20 years and taught art appreciation, Western art history, and curatorship. She was seconded twice to the Cultural Center of the Philippines as director of the Visual Arts and Museum Division. First, in November 1995 to June 1997, and more recently in January 2012 to April 2015. Since 2009, she has been a lecturer for the BFA in Arts Management program in Ateneo de Manila University, where she teaches curatorship and collections management. She also engaged in freelance curatorial and museum-related projects. Among her research and exhibition projects are on Italian sculptor Francesco Riccardo Monti, painter-educator Florencio Concepcion, abstractionist Lia Aguinaldo, and conceptual artist Roberto Chabet. She co-authored the book The Life and Art of Lee Aguinaldo in 2011, published by AAG and Debal, that won the Alfonso T. Ongpin Best Book on Art Prize by the National Book Development Award 2012. Please welcome Ms. Boots Herrera.
Good day to everyone. First of all, I wish to thank CCP for giving me the opportunity to work with the Visual Arts and Museum Division team for the exhibition titled Allegories and Realities, Ofelia Helvison Teki in Retrospect, which opened last February 2020. And of course, it was a distinct privilege to work with you, Ofi. This project, along with the recently held retrospectives, underscored the foresight CCP programs already had in its early years. Ofelia was among the 13 artists in 1972, identified for her spirited and dynamic approach, particularly in the art of printmaking. Also notable is that she's the first female artist included in that list. This retrospective gives homage to the creative journey of an artist who, from the start, was already marginalized by circumstances. Apart from being a woman in a predominantly male world, Ofelia chose the art of printmaking, which in the late 1960s still had a small group of practitioners. Her persistence, along with her other colleagues, ensured that printmaking continues to thrive to what it is today. This project also proved how, even as an expatriate artist, Ofelia took advantage of given situations to make statements that impact the social and the political. Her works, both in fine prints and paintings, reveal her strong sense of nationalism and her love of country. As we approach the election season in 2020, let us be reminded of the virtues of good government and the effects of bad government, as how Ofelia visualized it in her prints and paintings, as inspired by the works of Italian artist Piero della Francesca. It was unfortunate that CCP and the rest of the world had to go on lockdown after only a few weeks since we opened the exhibit last February. I hope the catalog will be able to provide its readers a deeper appreciation of the commitment and passion Ofelia gives to her art and her life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boots. Now, let's hear a response from one of the guest writers of the publication. Carlos Quijón Jr. is an art historian and curator based in Manila. Currently, he is a fellow of the research platform Modern Art Histories in and Across Africa, South and Southeast Asia, or MAHASA, convened by the Getty Foundation's Connecting Art Histories project. He writes exhibition reviews for Art Forum, and his research is part of the book From a History of Exhibitions Towards a Future of Exhibition Making, published by Sternberg Press 2019. He's an alumnus of the Parasite Workshops for Emerging Professionals in Hong Kong in 2015. In 2017, he was a research resident in MMCA Seoul and a fellow of the Trans-Curatorial Academy, both in Berlin and Mumbai. He curated Courses of Action in Hong Kong in 2019 and is co-curator of Minor Infelicities in Seoul in August 2020, and will be co-curating the exhibit in our Best Interests in Singapore in 2021. Please welcome Mr. Carlos Quijón Jr.
Hi everyone, I am Carlos Quijón Jr. I am a critic and curator based in Manila. I became familiar with the work of Ofelia Helveson Tequi through the writings of Raimundo Albano and Alice Guillermo. Both writers wrote about the power of Tequi's prints, most of which were produced from the 60s to the 80s. As my contribution to this edited volume, I chose to write about her works that have not yet received as much attention as her works in print. These are her works in acrylic, which were mostly done in the 1990s. My essay titled Desperate Faith and Faithful Leap attempts to think about Tequi's works in acrylic as constituting what Edward Said nominates as late style. It looks into how these later suite of works presents continuations of or deviations from the artist's print works. In my essay, I propose an understanding of the allegorical that derives from the materiality of acrylic, how the flatness of acrylic allows for the juxtaposition of disparate pictorial planes, and how this points us to the works' political agency or their political activity. While the prints display intelligent demarcations of space through walls, structures, and niches, the works in acrylic instead stitch together what seems like different spaces into one pictorial plane through color, such as in the Second Joyful Mystery, 1995, through the staging of figures, such as in the Second Joyful Mystery, 1983, and through the coexistence of different spaces in one pictorial plane, such as in the Second Sorrowful Mystery in 1995. In these strategies, the allegorical is recast into what Walter Benjamin describes as a desperate and faithful leap into, and I quote, a mode of greater, more self-confessed fictionality, end of quote, wherein the viewer is asked to believe the simultaneity of different events within the bounded space of the canvas. Helveson Tequi's works cultivate an understanding of visuality and the allegorical that insist on other possibilities. What Alice Guillermo sees in the artist's prints as, and I quote, figures, people making contemporary history about ready to break out of and even tear down structures in the process of gaining freedom. In her works in acrylic, this possibility is all the more potent. These other possibilities address its contemporary viewers, confronting us with the juxtapositions that otherwise will not be acknowledged. In these works, the image is unfaithful to a reality that oppresses. Their only fidelity and faith is on the contemporary viewer so that visuality remains refractory and radical. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. And now I'm sure you are curious how to get your copy of the Allegories and Realities of Ofelia Helveson Tequi in Retrospect publication. It is priced at 600 pesos. Avail the bundle packages to get a discount. Aside from that, we have some good news for you. Starting today until Sunday, October 3, 2021, you may get the publication at 20% off. To get a copy, follow the steps on the screen. First, scan the QR code on the screen or click the order form link on the chat box. 2. Place order by filling out the order form. All orders received within the launch date will automatically be entitled to a discounted price. 3. After order submission, an email confirmation will be sent along with the payment details and shipping instructions. 4. Pay the total amount and send proof of payment to the CCP shop at culturalcenter.gov.ph. 5. After payment validation, an official receipt will be issued and delivery of purchased items will be arranged according to preference. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. For those interested, the virtual exhibition of Allegories and Realities of Ofelia Helveson Tequi in Retrospect can be accessed via this link. A video tour is also available at the CCP YouTube channel. And do check out other materials related to the exhibition available at the CCP Collections website. Lastly, to get more updates, follow the CCP Visual Arts and Museum Division on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a good day, and thanks everyone.